Okay, so picture this. It's barely 8 a.m. and an HR manager's day is already off the rails. There's no quiet cup of coffee, just an employee, Ben, who's so furious he looks like he's about to punch the door over a pay dispute. And this isn't some made-up drama, it's a real window into the high-stress, deeply personal world of human resources.
And that's really the reality for HR managers, isn't it? They're constantly walking this human tightrope. They're balancing employee crises, company policies, and just the plain messy nature of people. So after Helen finally de-escalates the situation with Ben, you'd think things would get better. Nope, her day just gets worse. I mean, check this out. She deals with sexism on the factory floor, gets overruled by her boss on the exact issue she just handled, and then, and this is the real kicker, after a whole day of fighting for other people, her own request for a raise gets denied. By 6 p.m., she's exhausted and still has to take work home. You see, this isn't just one bad day. It's a symptom of a system that is just drowning in conflict and paperwork. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. We live in this incredible age of technology. So can something like artificial intelligence actually step in and fix this fundamentally broken, very human system? And that's where AI enters the picture. The whole idea, the big promise, is to replace all that chaos and gut feeling we saw in Helen's day with clean, efficient, data-driven solutions. This really shows the contrast perfectly. On the one hand, you have the old way, Helen's world. Pay decisions based on who's the loudest, biased feedback, you know the drill. But on the other hand, the AI way promises a totally different reality. Real-time pay analysis to stop fights before they even start, objective data on performance, and automating all those tedious tasks that kept Helen stuck at her desk so late. The potential here is just enormous. I mean, imagine a system that could boost efficiency, filter out our own human biases, create a totally personalized experience for every employee, and give real-time support. It sounds like a much fairer, much more accurate way of doing things. So what's the catch? There's always a catch, right? Well, welcome to the paradox of progress. Because while AI is fantastic at solving a lot of our old problems, it turns out it's also really good at creating a whole new set of challenges. This framework here explains that paradox perfectly. It shows that when you bring AI into a company, yeah, you get positive things like efficiency. But at the exact same time, you create this powerful wave of negative feelings in employees. Fear about job security, privacy concerns, feeling like you're being watched, and all that negativity can completely undermine the good you're trying to do. So what are these negative perceptions? Well, they're rooted in some very real, very human anxieties. The first one is obvious, job security. Is a machine going to take my job? Then there's fairness. If some algorithm I can't see or understand denies my promotion, how do I know it was a fair decision? That's the whole black box problem. And when you add in fears about privacy and just feeling like a number, well, you've got a recipe for some serious workplace anxiety. Now, to understand the kind of power we're dealing with, just look at this number, 95%. That's the accuracy of an AI system from IBM that can predict which employees are about to quit. Think about that for a second. From a business point of view, that's incredible. You can step in, solve their problems, and save the company millions. It's an amazing tool. But, and this is a huge but, here's the other side of that coin. For the employees, it can feel like you're completely at the mercy of some invisible algorithm. And that feeling, that loss of control, just skyrockets stress and anxiety. So the very tool that was designed to make the workplace better can actually make it feel, well, pretty dystopian. So that's the big puzzle, isn't it? How do we get all the incredible benefits of AI without the scary backlash? Well, that brings us to building a better bot. And the secret, it turns out, is to focus on the humans from day one with a human-centered strategy. This table basically lays out the playbook. You've got the key issue on the left and the strategy to fix it on the right. So job security worries? The answer is upskilling and reskilling programs. Concerns about fairness? You tackle that with clear communication. That feeling of losing control? You address it by actually involving employees in the design process. For every single problem, there's a human-centric solution. It really all boils down to 3 key actions. Number 1, be transparent. You have to open up that black box. Number 2, offer upskilling. You got to invest in your people so they can work with AI, not just get replaced by it. And number 3, and this might be the most important one, involve employees. Give them a voice. It all comes back to one crucial thing, building trust. So when organizations actually get this right, AI does something pretty remarkable. It doesn't just fix old problems. It fundamentally redefines the role of HR itself, elevating it from administrator to strategist. To really get this shift, let's just clarify two terms. First, you have operational HR. That's the day-to-day grind. Payroll, compliance, putting out fires like the one Helen faced. That's the resources part of human resources. But then you have strategic HR, and that's about the long-term vision, shaping the workforce, developing talent, and helping the business succeed. That's the human part.
And this brings us to our final thought. For decades, HR professionals like Helen have been totally buried under all that operational work, the resources. But as AI starts to automate that administrative grind, it creates this historic opportunity. So the question we have to leave you with is this: as AI takes over the resources, can HR finally be freed up to focus on what truly matters, the human side of the equation? The answer to that is probably going to define the future of work.